Now today is the 28th of May, the day where Rajarajeswari Nagar's polls were deferred to. This was 2 weeks after being postponed by the Election Commission. This was after more than 9,000 to 10,000 voter identification cards were found in an apartment in Jalhalli just days ahead of the polls that were originally scheduled for the 12th of May. Notwithstanding the morning heat, several people stood in long lines outside the polling stations to cast their votes. By 11 this morning, the voter turnout was 21%, and as the time went on, it crossed 50% across the 421 polling booths. There was security all throughout, and there were 14 contestants in the fray, including incumbent, or rather the previous MLA, Muniratna, who is also one of the accused in the case registered over the 9,000 plus voter ID cards that were found in that apartment in Jalhalli. Former Councillor G.H. Ramchandra and Tulsi Muniraju Gowda were also among the contestants, and more than 4.71 lakh people from the constituency were eligible to vote. It does appear that the number of voters ended up being about 50 to 55%. We'll get a final number on that fairly shortly. So that's the latest information we have. This has, in fact, been a time of an interesting time, considering that we are looking at a deferred poll. The numbers have already been seen as to how the assembly is shaping up, who is forming the government. All of that is still a matter for further discussion. There are still seats that require filling, more so Rajarajeswari Nagar, which came under a tremendous amount of scrutiny, and because of the deferment of the election for Rajarajeswari Nagar to the 28th of May. Now all of that has been done, seen, and we've seen a great deal of drama at the constituency as well, across outside the various booths. We've seen protests. It's been a day, it's not been a day without any drama, so certainly a lot worth talking about. I have joining us on our panel Shripad Renu from the Congress. Thank you for joining us. I also have Hemant Kumar, senior journalist who has been an active member of our panels in the past as well, so thank you for joining us. And also another active member on our panels is the BJP spokesperson Smriti Harris. Thank you for joining us here today as well. I'm going to start with you, Hemant Kumar. Rajarajeswari Nagar has seen a fair bit of action in the last couple of weeks, more so because of the voter identification, both genuine and purportedly counterfeit, that were found at a location that led to the deferment of the elections to the 28th of May. Let's just have a brief summary from your point of view as well, the drama surrounding Rajarajeswari Nagar and how important it is, considering it is a huge constituency, 4.7 lakh eligible voters.
The outcome of any by-election was never been a matter of curiosity and anxiety in the past. Because every vote, every seat is coming down to the wire, and there is a hung assembly. If had any one political party, either BJP or Congress or JDS, had got any comfortable majority, the outcome of this by-election would not, numerically doesn't matter to any political party. If the ruling party wins, that is, the people have reposed their faith in the ruling party. If the opposition party wins, in that case, if the opposition party wins, the people have understood the opposition. That would have been the interpretation. But now that the Congress number is 78, unfortunately, one of our very active and very erudite leader, Sidhu Ramagowda, died this morning. It's very durmaranadu. So when the question of number game comes, this outcome of this election will definitely has raised a matter. It's become a curious to everybody. Otherwise, it doesn't matter much numerically. Especially this RR Nagar is being keenly watched because of the controversy that's surrounding around this particular constituency. There were allegations of thousands of epic cards having been found in a particular apartment. This party made allegations of that party. So nothing is coming out. Ultimately, it has not been taken to logical end also. So because of that reason, the elections were postponed. From 12th to 20th. Today, I think it's about 51% of the polling has taken place. Because of these two reasons, A, every vote counts, every seat counts in the assembly for both the party, both opposition as well as ruling party. B, controversy surrounding this this particular election for the postponed elections. For these two reasons, this particular consensus outcome of the elections is being keenly watched.
Right. So it is a keenly watched contest, and certainly I've got Shripad Renu from the Congress as well, who's joined us. You know, this has been, there has been, admittedly, a bit of embarrassment that caused the deferment of this election to the 28th of May. As far as damage control is concerned from the Congress, there would be a considerable amount of work. There has been a case filed as well against the previous MLA of the constituency. So as far as damage control is concerned, there was a fair bit of work that the Congress have had to do.
To begin with, there is no damage control because we have not done it.
All right.
So let's be very clear about that part of it. Second is, just because some people in the media just assume that it is done, it's not true. Third and the most important part is the person whose house the cards were found happened to be a BJP worker.
Okay.
Later on, that same lady withdrew the statement. So it is basically the election commission who has to actually answer this as to why they first deferred it based on dubious statements.
Right.
So I will not try to now start pointing the finger at the BJP or somebody else, because I do not like to say that the BJP is hand in glove with it. Though I'd love to say it, but I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
Therefore, to put it in perspective, we have not done any damage control as such. This is an election which is going to be fought, and as my good friend Hemant Kumar just now said, that it is keenly, any election is what it's keenly, more so a by-election. Every by-election we have seen over the years has always been keenly followed by the media, including your channel, for the simple reason because it's always a vote of test of strength of every party. Now there is going to be an election, by-election which is going to be held in UP. That is also going to come to center stage. That does not mean the Narendra Modi government is going to fall tomorrow.
Right.
That is not the logic to this whole thing.
Sure.
Any by-election does have its own weightage. It will carry its weightage. Of that, there is no doubt. As to the outcome, I am very confident the party will do very well and we will win this seat.
Certainly. Now, also joining me is my colleague Nabila. Nabila has been spending all day at Rajarajeshwari Nagar to understand how the vibe is. You know, with the voting, that the trends of the voting were also being closely observed by you, Nabila. Go ahead and tell us what the experience has been and how voters were feeling throughout the day.
Well, one thing's for sure, they were eagerly waiting for RR Nagar elections to come by. It was almost a 2-week delay, and that sort of put a good number of them off for the only reason because they had planned their trips, they had planned their vacations and whatnot. College, you know, school, college vacations are on already. So, you know, families were a little disturbed with the whole date being shifted, deferred. But one thing is, I'd like to counter Mr. Shripad Renu there for saying that we have not done it. The Congress has not done it. Well, there's nobody else's name on the FIR other than Muniratna.
It's not there, man. His name is not on the FIR.
Very clearly is there.
No, his name is not on the FIR.
It's very clearly there.
I'm sorry, it's not in the FIR.
Yes,
it's not in the FIR.
His name is very clearly there in the FIR.
Not there.
So, I mean, there is no
There's
conclusion.
case
Investigation has not. There's no conclusion to the investigation as yet. But his name is very clearly, categorically, in black and white, written in the complaint copy, in the FIR copy. So, the Election Commission has to come out with its conclusion. Now, will they, you know, take action on this case is a question. Going by history, doesn't seem like Election Commission has really done much with regards to cases like this. But he has been accused, so you can't shake your, shrug off saying that this is not our. But nonetheless, I did Nikhil speak to now Deputy CM Mr. Parmeshwar, and he very clearly said that yes, Muniratna is our candidate. We are going to back him 100%, and he will win the election. So the Congress is backing him. Whether they're doing damage control or not, or claiming ignorance to the entire thing, that's for us to debate on. But the Congress is backing them. Now that aside, RR Nagar elections, I could say was interesting to say the least, because it sort of got a lot more attention to the constituency post this entire scandal that was unearthed. Because as much as people wouldn't have voted on if it was on the date of 21st, all the more people came out to vote because all all of the focus was on RR Nagar today. So we saw a good 300 bunch of people, 300 people from the, I don't know how I really say it, all beggars coming from across the RR Nagar constituency in a gang. Like they ganged up, 300 members together came to a booth and voted, came to their respective booths and voted. So it almost looked like they were keen, they were eager, and all because of all the attention falling on RR Nagar,
Absolutely.
it looked like the voters' turnout was slightly higher this time. I'd say that. About 50 or
exceeded about
51%.
50%.
So
Yeah.
it's not exactly high turnover, it's more
Well,
or less
high
keeping the
turnover,
average.
It's consistent with the
keeping
urban
within the
average.
average.
It's consistent
keeping
with the
within the
urban
average of Bangalore.
Yeah, and it's one of the biggest constituencies in Bengaluru.
So we're talking
isn't it?
about close to 2.5 lakh voters who have
Right.
No,
shown
but
up.
still
4.5.
53%.
So 4.5 is the eligible voter, the eligible
turnout is
electorate.
60%
So
in
50%
Nagaur.
of that would be about
Okay,
2.5.
who cast their vote.
Who
But yeah,
actually
it is
cast their
one of the largest constituencies, and it's a Monday. You've got to contemplate on that as well, because it's a
Absolutely.
Monday.
And it's a-
Even
And
though
nobody
they
had
said
off today.
Even though they said establishments should remain closed, a lot of the establishments were open. It didn't.
But that's the thing,
mostly
isn't it?
everything was open. Schools were open.
Absolutely.
Schools were supposed to be shut. They were open. So I think only government offices took their off at a leisure day today. But otherwise, it looked like, because again, EVM machines were again dysfunctional. I mean, as much as the election commission had time to prepare themselves for RR Nagar elections, even though it was 2 weeks delayed, they have not done a fabulous job. Can't give them any credit, because it had the same problems as it has. No, very honestly speaking, as it was on the 21st. EVMs not working in a good number of constituencies. In one constituency of RR Nagar, there were a good bunch of polling booths that were dysfunctional.
Absolutely, and I want to add to this.
irresponsible.
I want to add to this point that you made, Nabila. The very fact that there is national scrutiny on Rajeshwari Nagar as well, because when the whole incident, so from just a couple of days before polling day, when those 9,000 to 10,000 voter IDs were unearthed, it was spread out across India. Look, this is what has happened. Yes, whether someone was found to be implicated or not, whether it was still speculation if someone was involved or not.
Even now it's
Yeah,
speculation.
and it's still speculation, but at the end of the day, it created a perception that something is wrong. Whoever is involved in this is responsible for this deferment and this disturbance in the election process, causing this deferment of the
I
election.
mean, this definitely brought in a lot of shame for the Congress. Of course, even the BJP there, because the house belonged to a BJP worker. So whether it's a conspiracy, whether it's a fact,
ultimately
that
it is
still
जरूर
investigations
दाल
only
में
will
कुछ
bring that
काला
about.
है
Yeah,
जरूर
something-
दाल में
it-
कुछ काला है
Yeah.
तो काला किसका है पता नहीं है अभी
Yeah, I mean, it's still speculation. There's no conclusion to that case. But then all of the 8,000 voter IDs, about 9,000 that were seized, amongst that 8,000 IDs have been returned to their respective owners. So we were expecting that the voter turnout also in RR Nagar would be higher this time. But I think it's more or less the same as the previous time. It's just a mere average of 51% as of 5 o'clock. So after 5 o'clock, hopefully another 2-3% that would increase, but nothing really so great. People were outside other areas that they moved out for their work today, Monday. Only RR Nagar is shut, but the rest is working. So a lot of them missed out because of their work
Absolutely.
schedule there.
And if we're talking about the perception, and I want to bring in Smriti into this as well, do you believe that because of this perception that was created, perhaps of the previous MLA, I say previous because that assembly is also ended, do you feel that the BJP has done enough to capitalize on that, or do you feel that it's still a neck and neck battle?
So the mood itself was against the incumbent Muniratna. So this person is not just known for the recent scandal of the fake voter ID cards. We've seen BBMP scams. We've seen a wall collapse on a young girl. We've seen him harass his own corporators. There's been a sexual assault case on him. So he's a repeat offender of sorts. So the mood essentially had built up against Muniratna, against the Congress in this particular constituency. And despite today being a Monday, we see that the voting percentage has almost reached 51, perhaps it will reach 52-53% by the close of today's polling session. So this only shows that the people of RR Nagar are hell-bent on throwing Muniratna out of power in their constituency. So yeah, of course, it has worked for the BJP, and we look forward to serving the people of RR Nagar.
Well, that's already presuming, a victory there. Of course, it all matters as to how the people have voted.
But
and
but as much as the BJP says that, the BJP, a good number of them who are voting there are all from the lower sections. That what we've noticed, they're mostly on the side of the Congress. I mean, I'm saying this going by the ground report.
Past trends have shown that. Past trends have shown that.
Those are the kind of people who come in and cast their vote, and they are sort of leaning towards the Congress. The BJP usually is very, you know, I don't know what's the kind of turnout from the BJP. I wish there was a survey for that. But but they are so super good at sitting in their AC cabins, commenting, making some fancy statements, and saying
This is not.
you know.
This is not a question
But
okay,
on ground, on ground, we've seen a
I think
different story.
we will know what the ground reality is only once the counting is finished. But you know, it's not about sitting in the AC rooms. Even when we said that we're going to cross the 100 mark, people were like laughing at us. Most of the surveys
that was definitely
most
shocking.
of the surveys
Still,
predicted,
I'm still in shock, by the way.
Yes, most of the surveys predicted double digits for us, and we did reach the three-digit number. So you know, it's not about sitting in AC cabins. I think if there are karyakartas at every booth level in you know, across the country today, it's only the BJP party that has this kind of cadre structure.
Right. So, you know, Hemant, coming back to you, we're seeing two perspectives over here, and
Interesting.
here I'm going to use you as the chair umpire in this tennis match.
No, we missed out on the JDS bit of it.
Well, the JDS
Why don't you speak for the JDS?
we will be getting the
Why don't you
JDS
speak
I am
for
not
the
capable of becoming spokesperson of any political party.
Yes.
No,
I am quite
but
comfortable
I
as a
think the Congress
journalist.
and the BJP have spoken for themselves.
There are-
What is your
well, they
perception?
both are
we'll
very,
be getting
very
the JDS.
efficient.
But let me tell you, I mean, speaking of the JDS in RR Nagar particularly, Ramchandra has quite some clout. Like he, you know, especially after the coalition, after the coalition, he's suddenly got this.
No, I was about to say that.
And also, incidentally, he's one of the brand new members of the JDS in any case. So, you know, it has...
He was earlier in BJP.
That's right.
He was a corporator there. He was denied ticket in
Yes.
RR Nagar, if I am not wrong. Smriti should say this, but according to my inside information, then he switched out.
Actual information.
That is,
Actual information.
that is
Okay,
exactly
then
how it is. That
thanks
is
for
exactly
no,
how it
he
is.
shifted over to JDS.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the question, very interesting, is Kumar Swamy has not gone to RR Nagar to canvass for Ramchandra.
Ramchandra, yeah.
Am I right? Devagowda went thrice. He also addressed a workers' meeting and also addressed a public meeting.
That's right.
It was street corner meeting. He says the alliance between the Congress and JDS and Congress is confined to Vidhana Saudha only and not outside Vidhana Saudha.
Yeah, Devagowda said that.
Devagowda said that.
Yeah,
Now the question is, what is Kumar Swamy's stand? Does he want his party, because he is the state president of the party. He is still the
so
state
does
president
he
of
want
the
his party to?
party to win or not
Where?
in RR Nagar?
But they said that.
So question,
The reason to why, see, I'll tell you what.
You were there,
requested,
I
was
saw
there.
you there in the field, I was there in the field.
Exactly. So
And
JDS
I know for
requested. So I don't know if this is inside story or this is fact. JDS requested the
JDS
Congress.
workers and admirers of JDS were under thorough confusion for the simple reason. क्या सर दೊಡ್ಡ ಗೌಡ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇವರು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಗೌಡ್ರು ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಏನು what to do now? Devagowda says you will vote for JDS.
Absolutely.
And Kumar Swamy doesn't say anything at all, and he sends a very subtle message to somebody totally contrary to what, because I can't tell openly what Kumar Swamy has said, but question was the JDS workers and admirers were thorough confusion, utter confusion.
Okay, we'll actually slip into a quick break. There is a clarification to that. There has been an attempt to negotiation, but it failed. We'll come back to that after a short break.
आसमां